Hi, Senator Obama. I appreciate your giving us the opportunity to ask you questions. I'm an attorney who represents federal whistleblowers, and I was very disappointed when I learned that you supported the bill that lets phone companies off the hook when they've helped the federal government without warrant wiretap phones.
So you want me to respond?
Yes.
Well, let me first of all say this. I actually used to be a plaintiff's attorney that represented whistleblowers, and in fact, I wrote the brief for the federal law, the federal whistleblowers law, to make sure that it applied in more situations. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and we won. So I know a little bit about whistleblowing and making sure that those folks get protection. That was not the issue in this situation. The issue here had to do with, we've got a program, a surveillance program, that tracks people who could potentially do us harm. It was supposed to run through FISA. FISA is the law that ensures that you have a court overseeing what the federal government does in its various surveillance activities. There is little doubt that the Bush administration decided to ignore FISA in setting up this surveillance program, went around the courts, went to the phone companies, and said to the phone companies and the telecoms, you know what? We have made a determination that this is legal, and so turn over all these records and cooperate with this surveillance program. And the phone companies and the telecoms, for the most part, complied. Now, the reason that we didn't want to originally give these phone companies immunity was not simply because we wanted to punish the phone companies. It was that unless you had these issues in open court, we might not know how the program had been abused by the Bush administration. That, in addition, we might not have any leverage to ensure that going forward, the program wasn't violating the basic privacies and civil liberties of the American people. And so I voted against the original version of the bill that would have given the administration as well as the phone companies a clean bill of health. The bill that we just voted on, which is not a perfect bill and not one that I would have drafted myself, did do two important things. Number one, it said explicitly that you can't run any surveillance program except through the FISA courts to make sure that George Bush or any president or Barack Obama can't unilaterally go snooping on people without somebody checking to make sure that they were doing it legally. And the second thing the bill did was to institute an inspector general to investigate any past abuses by the Bush administration in how this program was managed. Now, I recognize that some people feel like, yeah, well, the phone companies still were complicit in this. They should be held accountable still. I understand that argument. But the problem was the surveillance program is actually one that I believe is necessary for our national security. And so I had to balance or weigh voting against a program that I think we need and that had been created so that your privacies were protected, or create a situation in which we didn't have that program in place. And we would continue to argue about this for months to come. I made the decision that it was better to go ahead and support the program as currently constituted, knowing that I will be sworn in with your help on January 20th, and then I can go make sure that the program is working exactly the way it should be. All right?
Can I follow up?
Okay. How much more time?